Food chain, food web, and energy transfer. In an ecosystem, there are producers, the plant. They trap solar energy and convert it to organic matter. The primary consumers, the herbivores, they feed on producers. Secondary and tertiary consumers are carnivores. Each of this category is called as a trophic level. It is related to feeding. So, the herbivores feed on producers, that is plants. Secondary and tertiary consumers are the carnivores, which feed on herbivores. So, it is called as a food chain, to eat and being eaten. Almost invariably, in every ecosystem, the food chain starts with producers. Let's take an example of a food chain in a terrestrial ecosystem starting from a grass. There are different species of deers which feed on grasses. Then the tiger feeds on deer. Of course, deers are not only fed upon by tigers. There are leopards, there are jackals, there are hyenas, there are wolves which feed on deers. Deers also feed on different types of plants, different parts of trees, shrubs. There are other species of herbivores as well, like gaur and buffalo, rhino, elephant, etc. There are different rodents which feed on different parts of the trees, grasses, shrubs. There are snakes which feed on rodents. There are eagle and falcon which feed on snakes and rodents. There are herbivorous birds. There are insectivorous birds which feed on insects. So here you can see different food chains linked together. So food chain 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so many more, they comprise a food web. An healthy ecosystem should have a food web. There will be hardly any ecosystem with only 1 or 2 food chains. Of course, this kind of food web will vary in different biomes, different ecosystem. For example, in aquatic or water ecosystem, food web will be different. As the animal feeds on the other animal, there is an energy transfer. There is a distinct energy transfer in an ecosystem which can be shown in the form of an energy pyramid. At the base are the producers, the plant, which traps solar energy by using photosynthesis, chlorophyll. They have high energy, very less energy consumption in locomotion because plants do not move on their own. However, they respire. Because of high number of leaves, the rate of respiration is very high and respiratory heat loss is also very high. Above producers are the primary consumers. They directly feed on plants, therefore they are able to digest carbohydrates and can extract energy from those carbohydrates. Above them are the secondary consumers. They are predominantly carnivores. They are able to digest proteins, but the energy arriving from the previous level is less. Above them are the tertiary consumers. They are carnivorous. They are able to digest protein, however, the energy available is very least. As you can see, there is a change in energy level from producers to tertiary consumers. The plants have 100% solar energy available. Only 10% is passed on to the next level. Finally, when it reaches to tertiary consumers, only 0.1% solar energy is available. For better understanding of the energy transfer, Odum proposed a box and pipe model. Box is a trophic level, and the pipe which connects different boxes carries energy from one box to the other box. Some part of energy, that is solar energy, falling on the earth is not trapped by the producers and it does not enter food chain. This I have not shown in this diagram. The size of the box goes on reducing at every trophic level because the amount of energy available is also reduced. Whatever energy is trapped by plants is converted into organic matter, that is called as the gross primary productivity. There is an evaporative heat loss and respiratory heat loss in producers. So, whatever energy is coming out of the producer box is called as the net primary productivity. Some part of the energy is not utilized. That means it is not available for the next trophic level. For example, all plants are not eaten by consumers. So energy which is not utilized goes back to the atmosphere. There is respiratory heat loss at primary consumers and secondary consumer level as well. Also, they utilize whatever energy taken up from the other level for their well-being. So as we have seen, only 10% of the energy is transferred to the next trophic level. So here you can see the diameter of the pipe is also reducing. Therefore, there are maximum 3 to 4 trophic levels in an food chain because energy cannot be sustained beyond that. Energy is not available for the next trophic level. As we have seen, an healthy ecosystem will have a functional food web. But there are some creatures, some organisms which may not take part in food chain directly, however, they draw energy from trophic levels, maybe all trophic levels. They are called as the parasites. They may perish on their own or may be eaten by other organisms like ticks and mites. There is one more trophic level which does not take part in food chain directly, however, it is connected to all trophic levels. When a plant or animal dies, this trophic level comes into play. They are called as decomposers. They convert all decaying matter, the complex organic matter from dead plants or animals, and recycle them back into the ecosystem by converting them into simple organic matter. The decomposers are a vital part of an ecosystem because they provide nutrition to the trees and grasses and shrubs, which are then taken up by the other trophic levels. The energy available to decomposers vary, depends on what they feed on, either dead plant or dead animal. Every ecosystem is incomplete without decomposers. Thank you for going through the presentation. Your suggestions are welcome.